Hey y'all, this is Theron West II, and this is the Be Ready anthem, y'all. I hope y'all ready. Stay ready, be ready, 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 stay ready. Every show, new face, new dream. Young man out here building a team from the track to the court to the turf and the rings. They all grown different, but they got the same theme. Putting in works when the lights not on. Late nights, early morning, still going strong. They don't do it for the lights, they do it for the fight. Future looking bright, cause they training for their life. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. Spotlight on them, time to show love. Brother smart and dream, all star from above. The hustle in their heart, purpose in their feet, and they voice on this mic that echoes in the streets. Every episode, no cap, no fake. Just young ones grinding, rising to the stage. Different faces, same goals. Rise above the pressure, yeah, holding goals. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. So put your hands together for my boys, Coach Tony and Carlos, for the Be Ready podcast coming on right now. Let's get it, let's go, y'all.
We're back. Here we are, guys. We are back, y'all. Episode 62 of the Be Ready Sports Podcast. We're back, y'all. First episode of the college football season. Here we are. First episode in a long time. Me and Coach Tony, we had to deal with personal things outside of the podcast, so that was the reason why of our absence. But we're here. We're here. That is the main thing. We're here. Blessed. Here in another episode with a special guest. All right. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you on this Sunday night, football weekend. It's been a very entertaining football weekend. We're going to get all into that. We're going to get all into it. All right, college football, basketball. We're going to get into all of that. But first, before we get into all that, I'd like you guys to like, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel. We just passed 200 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So please just like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you guys get notified of when we go live. And of course, follow our Instagram. It should be scrolling down on the ticker at Be Ready Sports Podcast on our Instagram. Just surpassed 1,000 followers on Instagram, on the road to 2,000. So thank you guys for supporting. And we got a very good guest here on our comeback episode, here on episode 62. So without further introduction, let's get right into it, shall we? Let's introduce him on. Tonight's guest is a class of 2032 basketball player from the state of Florida. He is nationally ranked in his class and is a combo guard from Jordan Christian Prep. He has attended many national showcases like the PSD National Combine and the AAU Select Tour. So now, please welcome to the Be Ready Sports Podcast, Aziah Monteiro. Aziah, what's up, man?
What's up? How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Good.
All right, Aziah. So break the ice to our audience. So introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Aziah Monteiro, class of 2032, and I play basketball.
All right. Short and sweet. All right. So he's excited to get into these sports topics. I'm pretty sure, he kept the intro short and sweet so that we can just get right into the sports topic. So yeah, man. So let's get right into it, shall we? All right. So this past Saturday, college football Saturday, we got football every weekend until the winter, December and January. It's gonna be the most entertaining weekends, because of college football and because of the NFL. But first we're gonna get into college football. All right, so so we're going to go in chronological order of the games. So for example, we're going to start with the noon games, then we're going to go 3:30, then we're going to go to primetime games, and then if there's a late night game, then we're going to talk about that as well, and then we'll get right into the NFL portion. We're going to go in chronological order. So let's start with the first game. This first game was very entertaining. It was Clemson and Georgia Tech. That game was an amazing game at noon. When this game was announced, that game had a feel of an upset, college football upset. It had a feel of an upset because, for example, like an upset means like a team like Clemson is ranked. For example, in college football, there's a ranking from 1 through 25. Clemson's ranked number 12. And then you got Georgia Tech is unranked. So basically, Georgia Tech pulled off what is called an upset. So Georgia Tech beat Clemson, very entertaining game. And, it happened on this play at the end of the game. So let me show you guys that video right now.
He'll be short of the first down. Driven back after a gain of only a couple. And here comes the fire drill. They will line Aiden Burr up to try and win the game. Down to 10 seconds to go. His career-long 51, this from 55. The snap is off. It is on the way. It's got the distance. It's gone. Georgia Tech wins.
What a scene in Atlanta, Aziah, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so did you watch this game or no?
No, but I actually seen the clip of the field goal.
Oh, yeah? All right, so what are your thoughts on that field goal? Wow, like so last minute, right, Aziah?
Yeah, especially because how far it was, and they said that his longest one was only 51 yards. So for it to be even longer, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, very crazy. Uh, there was some criticism towards Dabo Sweeney, the head coach of Clemson, saying that that he should have called a timeout so that it kind of stops the fire drill that Georgia Tech had. That was what the play was called, the fire drill, when the whole unit had to get out, a whole brand new unit. They actually worked on that actually, and it worked successfully. It worked beautifully, and they upset Clemson, and actually Clemson's unranked because of that loss. So no team is safe in college football. If you're a top 15 team and you lose, you're out of the rankings. So no team is safe in college football. So yeah, that's college football at its finest, Aziah. Crazy finishes, field stormings, that's college football. And that's the reason why I love college football, and that's why many people love college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so we're gonna talk about a team that, played Georgia Tech. It goes by a team of Colorado. Oh, whoops. Covered our screens. Yeah, so Colorado, yeah, man. Colorado off to a rough start. Head coach Deion Sanders, off to a rough start for Colorado. Off to a rough start. They're 1-2. They lost to Georgia Tech actually. Then, as you can see, they beat Delaware. We're gonna talk about Delaware later on actually. And then they just lost to Houston this past Friday night. Yeah, so they're 1-2. So yikes. Coach Prime's team not off to a good start, but you know what they say. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So can Coach Prime in Colorado, kind of pull off some wins at the end? We'll see. Let me see if I can share my screen here so that I can bring up the rest of Colorado's schedule. Hold on. There it is. All right. So that's the schedule right there. As you can see, wait, let me scroll down. Yeah, man. So as you guys can see, they got Wyoming next. Well, hold on. Why is my screen?
Yeah, no, they could pull off a couple wins.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure they can. So they really got to work. So they got Wyoming next at home. Then they got BYU, whose quarterback is like a true freshman. So they got that true freshman got to go on the road to Boulder, Colorado. Then they got to go to at TCU. Many people know how Coach Prime Colorado first started back last year. Oh no, 2 years ago when they went to TCU and pulled off that big win. And we coming how that campaign started. Then they got at home against Iowa State, a really good team in Iowa State. Then they got to go on the road to Utah, a team that's on the rise. Then they got Arizona at home. Arizona, not much of a threat this year. West Virginia, same thing. Arizona State, a team that, lost to an unranked team. They're unranked, as you can clearly see, but they got them at home. And then Kansas State, that's a team that really fell off this year. They were very good last year, Yeah, yeah, they were very good last year, and then this year they just plummeted pretty much. So, yeah, so that's their schedule. So Aziah, so do you think Colorado's going to pull off some wins here?
Definitely. Yeah, they could pull off. I know they could do it.
Yeah,
Coach Prime could do it.
for sure. I believe. Yes, he pretty much like this is going to be the test of who believes. So, and I guess we'll see as they play next week as they take on Wyoming from the Mountain West. All right, so let's get into the other game that happened. A lot of games happened, but another noon game that happened here was let's see, how do you Wisconsin and Alabama. That game,
Blowout.
yeah, blowout, exactly. And Alabama, that week one game against Florida State, that was a not a good game for Alabama. They were not Alabama, the Alabama that many people know. So like, yeah, and a lot of people, were down on Alabama. They lose to Florida State in week one. Week two, they beat Monroe, and then week three they do this. So I don't know, Isaiah, and I think Alabama's back, or it might rise to come back. And that photo right there by Ryan Williams, he's back, and I'm gonna show you why on this clip here.
Simpson gets it complete to Ryan Williams, who cuts back and scores.
He says, "I told you, I'm back," basically saying under his helmet. But I'm gonna give you another view of slow-mo.
Jameer Latimer on skates. Man, his game last year against Georgia is legendary in Alabama football history.
Hey, man. Isaiah, so what are your reactions to that juke by Ryan Williams?
That was a good move. A great move. A nice little juke just to get into the end zone. A great move.
Hey, man, Ryan Williams, a lot of people are saying that, oh, he might have a good season this year, but look out. He's starting to come back. He's starting to come back. So got to watch out for Ryan Williams. Good win for Alabama, and hopefully they stack up some wins later on. All right, so that's Alabama. We're talking about another game here. All right, so remember when I said we're going to talk about Delaware, guys? So guess what? We're going to talk about Delaware. For context, Delaware was an FCS team. So, for example, that's like a lower division of Division I football.
Mm-hmm.
So they just recently this year are going to play FBS football, which is the higher level college football. So they played UConn, the Huskies, who is an FBS team, a higher ranked, higher, how do you say it, high level Division I team. They were at home for this game. And as you guys can see, they won 44-41, and they actually won in overtime because of this play right here. Hold on, let me bring it up. And Here it is.
Red zone defense is something that UConn does extremely well.
Empty for Minicucci. Silver in motion for a third time in a row. It's Minicucci. This time he finds the end zone. Nick Minicucci wins it for Delaware. Welcome back. FBS football inside at Delaware Stadium. The blue and gold victorious.
Congratulations to Delaware. Big time win for the Blue Hens. Their first year as playing higher level Division I football, and they got their first win against UConn in a pretty, big fashion, as you saw on that run play.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts on that, or no?
Well, yeah, I actually do.
Okay.
Very clutch play. Very clutch play.
All right, for sure. All right, so before we get into this, I want to give a shout out to Kaysen Velez. He was a way previous guest. He's been there since the start. And now here he is. He's been supporting for like 50 something episodes now. So he's been supporting through the beginning. So shout out to Kaysen. Sounds like you got a fan here, Aziah. Do you read that?
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right. Shout out. All right, so let's get into this next topic. A rivalry game that happened here in college football. This is a rivalry game between Pittsburgh and West Virginia. Their rivalry is called the Backyard Brawl. It's a big time rivalry in college football. It's one of the more, lesser known rivalries, but it's highly historic, So as you guys see, West Virginia, they got the win over Pittsburgh in the Backyard Brawl rivalry. Big time win for West Virginia in that rivalry. And good news for both teams actually is that they're actually going to extend their rivalry through 2036. So they're going to play more for 11 more years, Aziah. So Aziah, how do you feel about rivalries and stuff?
Well, from what I'm seeing the scoring now, I could say that's a good rivalry. But like I feel good.
Yeah. All right, gotcha. Yeah, man. So West Virginia got that big win in overtime over Pitt, and they're gonna play for 11 more years. All right, against each other. All right, so let's talk about another game that happened. This was actually the game of the weekend. This was a top 15 matchup between Tennessee and Georgia. What a game this was. Tennessee was set up to score. They were literally in Georgia territory. All they had to do was kick a field goal for the win, but they got called a false start, pushed them back 5 yards, and then they tried to kick a go-ahead field goal, and he missed it wide right, the kicker for Tennessee, and the game went to overtime. Tennessee had the ball first. They kicked the field goal to be up by 3, but then Georgia responds with a touchdown, a game over, and Georgia, the Bulldogs, go into Tennessee and get the win. So Aziah, what are your thoughts on this?
I always knew that Georgia was a good team. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know nothing about this game.
Oh.
But I know that they're both a good team, but Georgia's one of the best teams to ever play in college football.
Yeah, for sure. Georgia, they're one of the top teams in the SEC. They're one of the top teams. Also, it's Tennessee. Too, but big win for Georgia. And we're going to talk about them later on once we show the rankings, which we're going to show at the end of the college football segment. All right, so here's another game here in the state of Florida. A lot of buzz about this game in the state of Florida between the Hurricanes and the South Florida Bulls. This was, a big game for the state of Florida. South Florida coming here with like the hottest resume in college football. They had 2 top 25 ranked wins. They beat Boise State and they beat the University of Florida. They beat them at the Swamp with a game-winning field goal. And some people said, like, can they go 3 in a row and beat a ranked team? I think the last time the last team to do that was the 1985 Canes, which was a legendary great team. So South Florida went into Miami, the biggest game on the CW network, and as you guys can see, Miami just blew the brakes off South Florida, and South Florida only got one touchdown in that game. They only got one touchdown in that game. Miami's defense was solid. Their defense was solid. They basically just outplayed South Florida, basically, Aziah. They just outplayed them offensively, defensively. Like, it was all Miami. Like, South Florida got one touchdown, and some people compare that touchdown to when Chris Paul cut the lead to like 42 when the Suns and the Mavericks. A lot of people compare that touchdown. So so Isaiah, so did you watch this game or have any knowledge about this or no?
Nope, not at all.
Nah. All right, got you. Yeah, so Miami, big win over South Florida, and those fans were rocking indeed. All right, so and because of this win, Isaiah, they get to host College Game Day. It's a huge pregame show. Is nationally recognized. They're going to come down to Miami, Coral Gables, Florida, for the Miami versus Florida game that's going to be going on next weekend in Miami, Florida. It will be the Hurricanes taking on the Gators next weekend at Hard Rock Stadium, and that game will be on prime time, 7:30 on ABC next weekend. All right. So let's get into another game that happened. This happened at night. This was Vanderbilt. So let me give you a little context on Vanderbilt. Not a lot of people know Vanderbilt if you're not really a college football fan, but Vanderbilt, they got their name out there when they upset number 1 Alabama. So some people think that Vanderbilt started, the Alabama decline because they upset Alabama at home, and that's what really put them on the map. That Alabama win. Quarterback Diego Pavia, he was amazing in that game. So that got Vanderbilt on the map. That got him ranked. They were known as like an underrated team in the SEC. And as you can see here, they beat yet another SEC team in South Carolina. South Carolina, who's very good, by the way, very good. Vanderbilt went on the road, and as you can see, crushed South Carolina. 1-7. So Zai, do you have any thoughts on this or no? Defense, yeah. Clearly Vanderbilt's team, they were ready. Yeah, I tell you, they were ready for sure. Only one touchdown for South Carolina. Very upsetting. And by the way, yes, that is an upset for you guys there. Yes, Vanderbilt was unranked. South Carolina was ranked, and South Carolina now dropped from the rankings because of and Vanderbilt, we'll talk about them later on as well. All right, so another game that happened here, which is another upset, Old Dominion. So when you get into higher Division I football, you're classified into something that's called conferences, right? So you have the Power 4 conferences, which is the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and Big 12. And I think I said that right. Big 12, ACC, Big 10, and the SEC. Right, those are the conferences called the Power 4 conferences. It used to be the Pac-12, but they're no longer. So now it's the Power 4 conferences. But then you have the things called the Group of 5 conferences, which is the lower conferences in higher level Division I football. That's like the Conference USA's, the Americans, the MACs, those conferences. And as you can see there, Old Dominion from the lower Division I of the high levels, they beat Virginia Tech from the ACC, which is a power conference. So this was a big time win, as you can see. So this was a big time win for Old Dominion, So yeah, big time win for Old Dominion, and Virginia Tech, they're 0-3, Aziah. So do you know what happens when a team goes 0-3? Yeah. So basically, do you know what happens when a team goes 0-3 to start off the year, Aziah?
Get respect.
Nah, not really. But their coach got fired. Yeah, man. So their coach got fired. When he was there, they didn't have very good starts this season. He was there for a few years, and they didn't have really good starts this season. And this game basically was, okay, you're gone, basically. So, yeah. So as you can see, he plans to update. Now he is fired, according to some sources. So he is gone. His 4th season going 0-3. So he's been there for 4 seasons, as you can see, and went 0-3. Yikes for Virginia Tech. That was actually a team that I was looking forward to. A sleeper in the ACC, but they're going through it right now over at Virginia Tech. And speaking about coach firings, another coach in college football, Deshaun Foster from UCLA, also got fired, going 0-3. So he started his second season 0-3. So Deshaun Foster, he's gone. Their quarterback, Nico Yamaleava, he was actually over at Tennessee. He was excelling over at Tennessee, doing really well. But do you know what the problem was, Aziah?
No.
The money, NIL. He had, he didn't like how he was being paid at Tennessee. So he went to UCLA to get more money, and yeah, he is not doing so well right now, as you can see. So they're 0-3 and they're not really doing well right now. So yikes for UCLA. All right, so let's get into the next game. Florida and LSU. This was a primetime game on ABC. LSU, the number 3 team in the country, they beat Florida 20-10. As you can see from the Florida Gators, they are 1-2 with their only win against Long Island, which is a lower Division I team. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, and a lot of criticism over there in Gainesville. A lot of criticism towards the coach, Billy Napier, and he's on the hot seat for sure, head coach Billy Napier, and who knows, he might be one of the 2 coaches that got fired. But I'm not wishing for his firing, guys. I'm not wishing for his firing, but LSU beats Florida at home. And then another game in primetime here. This was a very good game. Went down to the wire. But Texas A&M from the SEC, they go into South Bend and they upset Notre Dame. They upset Notre Dame 41-40, and they won because of this play right here.
Let's decide a winner. 4th in the game. Reed, rush comes. Reed pumps, fires. It is caught. Nate Borkacher brings it in and ties the game. And he's got it.
Yep, as you guys can see, they got a go-ahead touchdown on 4th down, and then they kick the PAT to take the lead. And yep, as you can see, that's how Texas A&M beat Notre Dame. Yeah, man. So Aziah, what are your thoughts on that clip? On that clip.
I was kind of surprised because I know that Notre Dame is a good team.
Yeah, they were.
And I'm surprised that they're 0-2.
Yeah, man, they're 0-2. They first played Miami. They lost to them on the road. And then, now they lose this game. They're 0-2. And, they're going through it right now over there in South Bend, Indiana. So now for the moment of truth, the AP poll rankings. So here are the rankings here. So as you can see, the number 1 team is Ohio State, obviously. They haven't lost. They're one of the best teams, as you can see. All right, so we're going to start from the bottom, and then we're going to go to the top. USC, the Trojans of USC. My co-host, he went to USC. So I'm pretty sure he's pretty excited to see USC as a ranked team. They're undefeated. And yeah, man, they're 25. And then guess who's at 24, Aziah?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. They were once at number 6, Aziah. They were number 6 when they played Miami. Then they dropped to 8 after that loss to Miami. And then now they're all the way down at 24. Yikes for Notre Dame.
Hey, but it's still early.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. It's early. Probably some overreactions, probably. But, however, Notre Dame does have an easier opponent next game, so they should win and stay ranked. Missouri, they're undefeated. They haven't lost, and they looked very good to be ranked. Same as Auburn. Auburn and Missouri is pretty much in the same situation. But Auburn, they do play, a big-time opponent in the next game in Oklahoma, as you can see on that number 11 spot. So they're going to have a big game next week for Auburn. Michigan at number 21, the freshman phenom, Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood, Michigan, they were, I believe, in the top 15, but then they dropped because of the loss to Oklahoma, and now there they are at 21. They had a big win against Central Michigan. They won by 60. So they're there at 21. And then look who's in that 20 spot, Aziah.
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, the team that beat South Carolina. They're newly ranked here on the rankings. They beat South Carolina. They're undefeated. They also beat Virginia Tech. So there they are, number 20. Then you got Indiana at 19. They're a really good team. Great story last year. They haven't really played anyone, but they will play someone this next weekend as they play that number 9 team, Illinois. So they're going to have a big game next week. And then guess who's at 18, Aziah?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, the team that beat Clemson, the team that beat Clemson and Colorado. So they're there at 18, and hopefully they go up from here. I believe they have an easier opponent next game in Temple. So yeah, so they got a pretty easy win next week. And the Texas Tech, that's a really good team. Utah on the rise. Tennessee, they stay neutral. After that loss, to Georgia. Pretty surprising to me. They lost to Georgia. Some people thought that they may have dropped probably, but they stay neutral. They got lucky. And then number 14, as you can see, Alabama. They're in the top 15. They're back in the top 15. They were, I believe, at 19. Now they went up to 14. Ole Miss at 13, Iowa State at 12, Oklahoma at 11, and then guess who's at 10 right there, Aziah? The team that beat Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Yes, they're in the top 10. Illinois, they're a really good team, Illinois, and then Texas at 8. Yeah, man. So Texas played on Saturday. They played UTEP, but Arch Manning did not really have a good game, Aziah. He did not really have a good game, and the fans were actually booing him. Yeah, so Texas won, but they only beat UTEP by 17, a team that they should have beat by more. So it was a pretty disappointing performance for Arch Manning, and Texas, and they have to get their things together. And number 7 is my Florida State Seminoles. Yeah, I rep the Seminoles everywhere I go. I rep the Seminoles, and they're at number 7. They didn't play on Saturday. They had a bye week, but they're going to play next weekend. An easy team, probably the worst team in FBS football. They're playing. So that's pretty much another bye week. So you can say Oregon at 6. They're a really good team. Georgia, the team that beat Tennessee, they're in the top 5. Miami at number 4. After that big win against USF. And then 3, Penn State 2, and Ohio State at 1.
Penn State.
Yeah, so Aziah, what are your thoughts on the rankings? Oh, by the way, that's my co-host. Go Trojans. Yep.
I mean, it seems about right. I mean, we all know Ohio State is the best team. And yeah, it seems about right from what I'm seeing, and yeah, it seems about right.
All right, for sure. All right, so guys, that was a college football segment. Wow, so a long college football segment, and on to next week for college football. We'll see what other craziness college football brings us next Saturday. All right, so now let's get into NFL, Aziah. So let's get into the NFL. There are some NFL games going on right now as we are speaking, and specifically the Eagles and Chiefs. We'll talk about that later on. All right, so we're going to talk about one game here. Let me see here. The Packers and the Commanders, this was on Thursday night. This was on 9/11. Yes, that game was on 9/11. The Packers with Jordan Love, they beat Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. They're, I believe, 2-0. They're 2-0 to start off the year against two very impressive teams that they beat. So Aziah, do you know about the Packers, Commanders, NFL?
Well, I know that Packers got some good players, definitely.
Yeah, they do, and the Packers.
Sorry to interrupt you, but also my cousin used to play for the Commanders, Aaron Monteiro.
Okay, interesting. Aaron Monteiro. Okay, so shout out to him, Aaron Monteiro over the Commanders. Commanders, they're a really good team. They're a really good team, the Commanders, but they lost to Green Bay on the road. Jordan Love was amazing over with the Packers, but actually the Packers got a new acquisition from the Cowboys this year. He goes by the name of Micah Parsons. He was amazing for the Packers, and the Packers look good. They look good, Aziah. They look really good, and they look to be a force to be reckoned with over the NFC North division. So shout out to the Packers. They're 2-0 to start out the year, and yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about this Sunday. So Sunday games, this was one of the Sunday games. My co-host, the Niners, they defeat the Saints without Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was injured, so Mac Jones was playing, the former Patriot quarterback. And they went on the road to New Orleans and got the win. They got the win at New Orleans. So, Aziah, you got any thoughts on this?
It sounds like 49ers are going to have a good season because if their backup QB is doing good, imagine if their starting QB comes back.
Yeah, for sure. Mac Jones is a really experienced quarterback. So, the Niners will be in pretty good hands. Let's just say that. So they're going to be in pretty good hands. Yeah, Coach Tony's Niners. Yeah, so I'm in chat, so I do not buffer the show, guys. Not tucking the interview, and you, Aziah, you are in great hands with me. Yeah, so that was from my co-host. Yeah, he's a Niners fan. So, yeah, big win for your Niners, Tony. That was a big win for your Niners as they went on the road to take on New Orleans. Here's what happened also today. The Bengals, they were actually without Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow actually got injured in this game. The backup quarterback for Cincinnati played and led them to victory today as they beat the Jaguars. With Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Etienne, Travis Hunter, who's the newest acquisition over there in Jacksonville. So, Zai, you got any thoughts on this?
Travis Hunter is a good player.
I gotcha. Yeah,
but Cincinnati, same thing.
Yeah, all right, gotcha. Yeah, they got Joe Burrow, they got Jamar Chase, the LSU teammate. So Cincinnati looking good, man. They're looking good as they beat Jacksonville this afternoon. Also another game at noon. Coach Tony, and I think we might have to do another how do you call it? Another rant video, because the Dolphins, they're 0-2, Tony. They're 0-2. As you guys can see, the Patriots, they beat the Dolphins today at noon, 33-27. Yeah, so Aziah, what are your thoughts on this?
Very happy. Patriots fan.
Really?
Yeah.
I because you're from Boston, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, my brother's a Patriots fan too. So, yes, a good win for you guys, but the Dolphins, they have to get it together because they're 0-2, and guess who they play next, Aziah?
Who?
The Buffalo Bills. So
0-3.
Dolphins brand coming soon. Yep, there we go. Yeah, the next time Tony comes on, we're gonna have a Dolphins brand. Yeah, Dolphins are 0-2 and a high chance of going 0-3.
Very high.
Very high. Yeah, and the game's at Buffalo, so it's a very high chance. So yeah, man. I don't know how the Dolphins are gonna do this year. It's very cloudy over there in Miami. Usually it's sunny skies down there in Miami. Beautiful skies, the beaches and stuff, but it's cloudy skies over there. Cloudy skies, not a good time to go to the beach over there in Miami. Not a good time. All right, so let's get into another game that happened. This was actually the best game in the afternoon at 1:00. How about the Cowboys, America's team? They played the Giants earlier today, and this game was a very good game. This was a very good game, this was a back and forth game. At the end of the fourth quarter, the Cowboys scored, and then Russell Wilson threw a deep shot to, I think, Malik Neighbors, to I think somebody for a touchdown, and then the Cowboys did this.
Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is good! That's why they trusted him. Wow. Never a doubt.
That's why they trusted him. 64-yarder to go to overtime. Game went into overtime. What a game it was in Dallas. Stayed neutral for a little bit, and then this happened for the Cowboys.
This thriller. Aubrey got it into overtime and now wins it. What a ball game. Cowboys in OT.
Brandon Aubrey, the hero for the Cowboys, as the Cowboys get the win 40-37. And, they really needed that win. And head coach Brian Schottenheimer, that is his first win as a Cowboys head coach. So, Aziah, what are your thoughts on that crazy game over there in Dallas?
High-scoring game.
I got you. High-scoring game it was indeed. Yeah, so here's the primetime schedule here on NFL. You got the Commanders, Packers, that already happened. Sunday Night Football tonight. Falcons and Vikings, that's going on tonight. Live from Minnesota. Michael Penix Jr. from the Falcons taking on J.J. McCarthy from the Vikings. A national championship rematch between those two. So that's going to be on Sunday Night Football tonight. And then you have a doubleheader on Monday night. You got the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield going on the road, taking on Houston on the road. And then in late night on Monday night, you got the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh and that squad taking on Pete Carroll and the Raiders on prime time. All right, so that's the primetime schedule. And then now we're going to talk about the game that's going on right now, which is the Eagles and the Chiefs. That game's going on right now, actually. It is 20-10 Eagles as we are speaking right now. 20-10 Eagles. These two faced off in the Super Bowl. Aziah, these two teams faced off in the Super Bowl. Eagles crushed the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. And, they face off again. They face off again here in Arrowhead. So, Aziah, what are your thoughts on this?
Eagles, I feel like they're going to win this game.
Yeah.
After what I've seen in the Super Bowl, Eagles are probably going to win it again if they're doing this to the Chiefs.
For sure. Got you. Yeah, man. So the Eagles, they're on a roll. You got Jalen Hurts, you got Saquon Barkley, you got A.J. Brown, and then you got the offensive line. Chiefs are cooked. Hey, man. Yeah, and the Chiefs are 0-1. They're 0-1. They lost to the Chargers in Brazil, and they might go 0-2, which is yikes. Which is a yikes over there in Kansas City. And I don't know. I don't know. Those people are going to be panicking over there in Kansas City. Going 0-2, that's not a good thing. That's not a good sign for the Chiefs fans. So that game's going on right now on Fox. They're almost done with the game. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now at 4 p.m. All right, so that's NFL. And now let's get into basketball, Aziah. So let's get into some basketball here. So I didn't know this before, but Chiefs and Notre Dame 0-2 life is good. Chiefs and Notre Dame 0-2 life is good. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, man. So let's talk about some WNBA action here. So I didn't know this before, and I saw this and I was like, oh, the WNBA, they got the playoffs. They got the playoffs. The playoffs actually started today, actually. The playoffs actually started today. As you can see in that first round, you got the Lynx, who is very amazing. And I think they crushed the Aces, some like 150 or something like that. I think it was the Aces they crushed, but the Lynx, they're a very good team this year. They're a very good team, and probably they're the favorite to win this playoff this year. So, yeah, they take on the Valkyries. They actually just play the Valkyries in game one, and the Lynx, they won that one 101-72. As you guys can see, the first round is the best of 3. It's not a best of 7. So that means you win 2 games, you move on. Chiefs now looking good. Yeah, Manuel. Yeah, Monteiro. Yeah. I kind of want to see the Ravens win one. Hey, the Ravens have a chance this year. The Ravens. They have a chance this year. The Chiefs are now looking good. Probably might be the Ravens' turn this year. The Ravens are long overdue. Let's just say that. All right. So, all right. Lost topic. All right. So the Lynx and Valkyries. Lynx ended up winning. Valkyries, the new expansion team over there in Golden State. The Fever and the Dream. That 3-6. Kaylin Clark out for the season. I don't know if you heard that, Isaiah. Isaiah, but Kaylin Clark out for the season. But the Dream, they won that one 80-68. They lead the series 1-0, and they're 1 win away from moving on. The Liberty and the Mercury, they're playing right now. I believe is end of game, and the Mercury, they're tied up 65-65. They're tied at the end of at the fourth quarter. So on ESPN. So that's going to be a very good game. The Liberty, they're actually the reigning champs. They're the reigning champs. So they look to keep being the reigning champs as they take on the Mercury. And then over the top right, they're going to play later on tonight, the Aces and the Seattle Storm. So Isaiah, who you got winning the WNBA playoffs?
Dreamers.
Who?
I think it's the Fever.
Fever. Okay, why the Fever?
Well, right now they're looking good. They're looking good in the playoffs. Well, yeah. From what I think.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, but also the Fever, they lost today, Isaiah. They lost to the Dream, so they're down 1-0. So basically, if the Dream, basically, if the Fever want to come back to this thing, they basically have to win 2 straight. Basically, against.
I think it's possible.
Okay. All right, for sure. They want to get paid as much as NBA players, yet they do not play a best of 7 game series. That's true. The first round, they're playing best of 3. So, and I think baseball does this too with best of 3 in the first round. But yeah, as you can see, they got a best of 3. And the semifinals, I believe, is a best of 5, and then the finals is a best of 7. So, yeah, the WNBA, they keep on saying that they want to get paid more, but are they doing things to get paid more? I don't know. As you can see with Tony's comment, they're playing best of 3 games in the first round, then best of 5, and then best of 7. So I don't know. I don't know about that for the WNBA. So here's the first round schedule. Obviously, Sunday, as you can see, Sunday today, there's games at 1, 3, 5, and 10. Then game 2 is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then game 3, if necessary, will be played on Thursday and Friday. All right. So now let's highlight a team, the Las Vegas Aces. So we were talking about the Aces in earlier episodes of the podcast. We were talking about them earlier episodes about the Aces, and the Aces were in the lower of the standings. They were not looking good. And I remember we had a conversation, me and Tony, and I think we had another guest on there saying that who's going to be the team, to improve. And we kind of said the Las Vegas Aces. And as you can obviously see, they're on a 16-game winning streak since August 3rd. Guys, today's September 14th. So they've been in a streak for like a month. They've been in a streak for a month. So big time win streak for the Aces. And they're on a 16-game winning streak. So Isaiah, what are your thoughts on the Aces 16-game winning streak?
Well, from the question that you said, it's looking like this is the most improved team.
Indeed, and they're led by Asia Wilson, the former MVP of the WNBA. So so that's the WNBA. The playoffs are going on right now, so you guys can check that out. As you guys can see by the schedule, you guys can check that out on the WNBA, their Instagram page. They have that on there, and as you can obviously see here, the next game 2, will be on Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, so let's get into the NBA. So Adam Silver had a press conference. About and I think it was about the Kawhi Leonard situation, and I think someone asked a question about Did Adam Silver really say that people who can't afford streaming service? So I guess I'm assuming the interviewer asked Adam Silver, what if people can't afford, Prime Video or Peacock or or things like that. And here's Adam Silver's reaction. Here's was his answer.
A huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport, so, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall. There's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, by another example, that is advertising-based that consumers can consume.
So Aziah, so what are your thoughts on that?
I think for people who like watching the NBA, games should be free. Because what if kids are trying to experience this type of stuff and they can't off
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Because now since the NBA is transitioning to NBC, they have a partner called Peacock. That's a streaming service. So if teams are playing on Peacock, pretty much fans have to pay money for a plan to watch Peacock, basically the games on Peacock. Same thing for Prime Video, because NBC has partnered with Prime Video as well. Adam Silver's a joke, slamming fans who cannot afford streaming services, all about the money. Yeah, so he's basically just saying, if you can't afford it, then just wait for the highlights and just watch the highlights on YouTube or something like that, which I think is messed up, but don't worry, this is your future, unless we get a new commissioner by 2032. Yeah, Zaya. So it is your future. It is. When you go to that NBA, I don't know what's going to happen in 2035 or whatever it is, but is everything going to be a streaming services? Like, is there going to be no more NBC, no ESPN? Like, is everything going to be streaming? Like, everything's going to be on Netflix, Peacock, Prime Video, and all the games? Like, I don't know. So, Aziah, so so this is your future, Aziah, unless we get a new commissioner. So what are your thoughts on this comment, Aziah?
I mean, after what I just saw from what Adam Silver said, I took that kind of like disrespectful, because there's some people who obviously can't afford it, and he's trying to say, if you can't, you have to wait. And I don't think you should do that. I think you should be able to watch it if you want to.
For sure. I like that. Yeah, Tony, so that's your answer for the comment. All right, so before we get into the Q&A, I want to show just three more things, and then we'll get right into the Q&A. All right, Aziah? So last night was a very historic fight over there in Las Vegas. Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. This was nicknamed the once-in-a-lifetime boxing match on Netflix. This was a huge fight. It was basically, the question was, who is the greatest fighter in, I guess, our generation? I guess you can say, Aziah, Generation X. I don't know. Me and your generation, basically. Basically. So, as you can see, Terrence Crawford, when are you going to send your answer to Adam Silver? Yeah, Aziah, so when are you going to send your answer to Adam Silver? Hey.
When I go to the league.
When you go to the league. Hey, Tony, try and clip this and then email this to Adam Silver. All right, so try and email this to Adam Silver. Clip this, all right? All right. Yeah, man, so a huge boxing event. Canelo Alvarez, he's a great fighter in my generation. He was a great fighter. He is a great fighter, actually. He is a great fighter, taking on another great fighter who is on the rise in Terrence Crawford. These two are great fighters, battle out at it, and basically saying who's the greatest in this generation currently right now. And this was a 12-round fight for the undisputed super middleweight champion, and Crawford was he was not afraid of Canelo's power. He's not afraid of Canelo's power. He got inside, hit him with some combinations, and Canelo was not looking like the Canelo that people are used to seeing Canelo, because obviously, Canelo, he's a very tough fighter. He's from Mexico. And if you know boxing, Mexican fighters, they will fight to the very end, basically. So people are not used to seeing this Canelo version against Crawford, and Crawford just put on a masterclass. I was actually watching the fight, and I was like, wow, like, I'm proud to say that this fighter right here, Terrence Crawford, is the best fighter in my generation. Like, I'm going to say this like 20, 30 years from now when there's obviously a new era of fighters, and someone asked me in like 2050 or something like that, who is the greatest fighter in your generation? I'm going to say Terrence Bud Crawford. He beat Canelo. He beat a lot of great fighters during his time. I think he's like 42-0. So, and he's undisputed super middleweight champion. So, yeah, man. All right. So, Aziah, you know anything about boxing?
Well, I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who do you think is better, Floyd Mayweather or Terrence Crawford?
I'm so glad you said this. I actually saw this on social media. The same thing. And guess who also was asked that question, Aziah?
Who?
Terrence Crawford. He was asked that same question, comparing him to Floyd Mayweather, and do you know what his answer was?
What was it?
He said, Floyd Mayweather is the best in his era. I'm the best in this era. I don't think we should be comparing. He's the best in his era, and and Crawford's the best in his era. So I'm not really a boxing purist like that, but I do watch boxing. I did watch a little bit of Mayweather throughout his ending of his career, but I didn't watch, his prime Mayweather, so, and obviously I saw Crawford a lot. I actually saw him fight against Errol Spence Jr., and he just crushed Errol Spence Jr. And when he beat Errol Spence Jr., I thought Canelo's next. Canelo, that's the next best fighter in this generation, and he beat him. So, yeah, he's the best in this generation. All right, great win for Terrence Bud Crawford. We don't know if he's going to be back in the ring, but yeah, Terrence Bud Crawford, the best in my generation. All right, so before we get into the Q&A, Aziah, I wanted to show 2 clips about the NFL. I forgot to put these 2 videos about the NFL. So I want you to react to these clips, Aziah. So here's one of Cam Ward from the Tennessee Titans earlier today as they took on the Rams.
49 seconds to play. Second quarter. Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Spectacular. Io Manor. Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
Wow. What a play by Cam Ward.
Wow. So, Aziah, so what are your thoughts on this?
That's a hard throw. Like, he was off balance. Somehow he made the throw. And he's just coming out of college. So for him to do that already, I'm very surprised.
Dangerous throw. That was a very dangerous throw indeed, He had to use all his power for that one. Like, he had to use all his power, and he let all his power out, and then what a catch by Io Manor, who came from Stanford. He was the best player out of the worst team, basically. So, yeah, man. So, Cam Ward, he's just confident like that. And he has a lot of confidence. He's a nonchalant guy, over in Miami. He would like stand in the pocket, basically. He would just stand in the pocket. I think I remember one time he just stood there one time. He just stood there and throw the ball. And I was like, wow, like, who is this guy, bro? That could have easily been a pick 6. Could have, but it didn't happen. Exactly. All right, so one more clip, and then we'll get into the Q&A. All right, Aziah?
To stabilize the team and the offense and go win some of these fourth quarter tight ball games. Oh, bad bounce goes through the hands of Caleb Johnson. He may have touched that ball. That would be a live ball. Let's see what the ruling is here. It is a touchdown! It's a touchdown! Oh, Seattle gets the score!
Ruling on the field, the ball hit in the landing zone on a kickoff. Somebody's got to cover it for the receiving team. It was recovered by the kicking team in the end zone. Touchdown.
This is the landing zone from the 20 to the goal line. When that ball lands in the landing zone, it's live. Plus, Caleb Johnson touched the football.
Basically, the commentator just explained it. So basically, the ball just landed in the landing zone, which is 20 yards into the end zone. It landed on there. It went through the receiver's hands, and it basically fell into the end zone. Seahawks had a chance to score a touchdown. Now, obviously, you can see they scored a touchdown. So, Aziah, so what are your thoughts on this? On that?
I've never seen that a day in my life. It was a mistake and a bad play.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it landed in the landing zone, so obviously Pittsburgh has to recover it. They can't just ignore it. Obviously, as you can see, if they would have ignored it, it would have been probably worse. But, you know, it landed in the landing zone. You got to recover it regardless if it's in the end zone. And I guess he didn't. And Seahawks, they took advantage. Touchdown for the Seahawks. All right, Aziah, so you ready for your Q&A?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a lot of sports topics, Aziah. And I think that was the most in a while that we done. Returner forgot the rules. Yep. Yeah, new rules in the NFL, you know, that the new kickoff, you know, indeed. All right, Aziah, first question. What inspired you to play basketball?
Well, growing up, my family, you know, was big sports fan, you know, watching Kobe Bryant, Kyrie Irving, and some of my other family members playing basketball inspired me to play it myself.
Okay, that's cool. Very good. All right, so which side of the ball you like playing better, offense or defense, and why?
I like playing more offense because I can set up a play or get to the basket when I need to. And I like dribbling the ball, and one of my key things on offense is passing. But what I do need to improve on is defense.
Okay, so basically you're saying you like offense better than defense.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay, so who do you idolize your game to?
Kyrie Irving.
Okay, why Kyrie Irving?
I idolize my game after Kyrie Irving because I think that I'm a point guard, and I know that I'm a point guard. And I like to, you know, be fancy. I like to dribble the ball a little bit, and I have good pull-up mid-ranges from my perspective.
All right, I gotcha. Okay, so what's your favorite NBA team and why?
My favorite NBA team is the Lakers, and mind you, I'm from Boston. I like the Celtics. My favorite NBA team is the Lakers because I grew up of my dad being a huge fan of Kobe Bryant, and not just Kobe Bryant, the Lakers.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, don't worry, Tony. Don't worry, Tony. We're gonna see his highlights. Don't worry. Yeah, we're gonna see his highlights later on the show. But yeah, Tony, you heard that? He's from Boston and he likes the Lakers. So hey, and I feel like you're the only one in Boston that likes the Lakers for some reason, because usually if you're from Boston, you know, you usually root for the Celtics, not even the Lakers. Like the Lakers aren't even close. But you know, all right. Okay, so what is your training / practice schedule like during the week?
My practice schedule is really busy. I go to a school called Jordan Christian Prep. Our school time ends at 2:35, so we're in the weight room, and then we go straight to the gym. And I usually get home around 9, but we end around 7 o'clock.
Okay, that's cool. Wow, so very busy.
Yes.
So from Monday through Friday, you're doing that.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay, so what are your strengths as a basketball player?
My strengths as a basketball player, my best one probably has to be my passing skills. I could shoot the ball. I have good dribble moves. I could get to the basket when I need to. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so what is one thing that you want to improve on in your game?
One thing I need to improve on and I want to improve on is definitely my defense.
Defense. Okay, so why defense?
Defense because I can play defense and I know that, but I know that my defense can be better than what I do.
I got you. All right. So what do you do to mentally prepare for a game?
Well, mentally prepare for a game, I would put some headphones on, listen to Kobe Bryant or Allen Iverson motivational speeches, or I would listen to Jesus and every game. Me and my coach, my dad, would pray before every game.
For sure. Amen. Definitely. Amen. I like that. I love it actually. Not like, love. Okay, so what's the best advice a coach has given you?
The best advice the coach has given me is probably from my dad, and he told me whenever I feel down on myself to keep grinding, keep pushing, and you don't do this for no reason. You do it for a reason.
I like that. And I like that advice. I like that. Yeah, shout out to Pops. Shout out. Okay, so what are your long-term goals as a basketball player?
My long-term goals is to get through school, make it pro, and to get an NBA uniform.
I like that. I love it. All right. So what has been your favorite tournament you played in and why that tournament?
My favorite tournament I played in was probably at Game Point Event Center, TNBA South, and I had 20 points that game.
20 points. Wow. Okay. I like that. Okay, so all right, so if you had to play in an NBA arena for one game, what arena would that be and why?
Well, it would be what I call the Staples Center, Lakers Arena. And the reason why is because of how many great memories and how many great players played in that gym.
Indeed. Yeah, man, and I wish it was called the Staples Center too. Like, I'm pretty sure my co-host would say the same. He would say the same, that we all wish it was called the Staples Center, but fortunately it's called crypto.com and they didn't keep the Staples deal for some reason. Unfortunately. All right, so what is your best game performance so far?
The game where I had 20 points, Game Point Event Center.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, so if you had to meet any sports athlete, who would it be and why?
Well, my favorite player is Kyrie Irving, but I would want to meet Kobe Bryant, and the reason why is because I would take advice from him on how he was so great and how he became so good as a player.
I gotcha. All right, so besides basketball, what other sport would you try and why?
I would try soccer because one, I played it before, and two, I'm from Africa, and in Africa, my country, all they did was soccer this, soccer that. All they did was play soccer. The love for the game in that country is just beautiful, so it would be soccer.
I gotcha. All right, last question. What are your favorite hobbies/interests to do outside the basketball court?
Well, I like to color, like draw, listen to music, and play video games.
All right. So art. So do you take art in school or no?
Yes.
Oh yeah? Okay. That's cool. And then you said music. So what's your favorite music to listen to?
Rap.
Rap? Okay, gotcha. All right, so
sorry. And also in my country, African music.
Gotcha. Okay, so and then you said what else? Video games. Yeah, video games. So so what's your favorite video game to play?
2K.
2K. All right. I like that. All right, so Isaiah, so that was the Q&A. So, um, how would you rate the Q&A? You like it?
Perfect.
What happened, Isaiah? You got cut off. What happened?
Oh, I would say it was a 10 out of 10 because I like the questions you gave me and the answers I gave you. I think was good.
Yeah, of course. Your answers was amazing. Very amazing, very mature for your age. Very. Apparently, my co-host says you and me have something in common. So, I don't know what it is, Tony, but I guess he sees something. All right, shout out to my co-host. All right, Zaya, you ready for your show and tell?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, do you have any accomplishments that you want to show or stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's more, but I couldn't find them. But I have. So for the first one, I still have it from 2020. I9 Sports Pee Wee Division MVP and champion.
I9. Okay. So was I9 like the root basically of your how do you say it, of your career?
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then the second one would probably be my PSD All Star ring.
Ooh, that's a big ring.
Yeah. It says PSD All Star, and then it says Elite Camp USA.
Oh, I gotcha. All right.
I won a lot of trophies. I actually have like a bunch of medals. I just can't find them.
A bunch of medals. Yeah. So, when you have a bunch of medals, that basically tells you that you're an elite athlete. Basically, when you have a bunch of medals, I actually have a bunch of medals. From when I played. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So basically, if you have a lot of medals, you're an elite athlete. Basically. All right. So is that it?
No, I have a question for you. What sports did you play?
I currently play basketball right now. I'm currently in 12th grade high school. Currently trying to get recruited for college basketball. Yeah, I play for an AAU team called Teamwork. We just competed on the hoop scene circuit this year. We played some independent tournaments, like we played the Pangos Fantastic 40. I think that tournament. And then we played Pangos, we played hoop scene, and things like that.
What position did you play? What do you play?
Shooting guard.
Yeah. What is your best strength in basketball?
Strength, I would say shooting and defense. I would say that.
Yeah.
My co-host has a question for you, Isaiah.
What was the name of Aziah? I like your name. Thank you. Well, of course, the goats, my parents. I actually never really asked them that. I just know that they came up with the name. I could actually ask my dad.
Mommy's co-worker.
Well, I just found out now. My mom's co-worker brought up the name.
We're gonna do Messiah, but we didn't want to do it because of Jesus. So.
They was gonna name me Messiah, but they didn't want to do it because of Jesus.
I got you. All right, Tony. Yeah, that was your answer. Yeah, that's a pretty unique name, Aziah. Yeah, that's very unique, indeed. All right, so let's get into your show and tell here with your pictures. All right, Aziah.
All right.
All right, so let's see. All right, so here's your first photo. So where were you, and what team did you play for here?
Well, I was at Game Point Event Center, and the team I was playing for was called Forever Hoops.
Okay. So what tournament was this?
This was actually the tournament where I had 20 points. It wasn't this game.
The TNBA South.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So do you know who you played against here, or no?
No.
I gotcha. All right. So.
No, not that.
Right. Here's another photo of you posing. I got you. Okay. All right. So where was this? The showcase?
Yeah, the PSD National Combine where I got the All-Star ring. Yeah. It was my team made it to the finals, and the team that we lost to in the finals, we beat the first day, so everybody was kind of confused how we lost. Like, it was to the point where the director didn't know, he thought we won, so he called our name, but it was actually the other team that won.
Oh, all right. My co-host actually said that was your surprise. Yeah, he actually told me earlier that he has a surprise for you in the show and tell, and apparently this was the surprise. So yeah, I guess that was from my co-host. So all right, so that was you posing. All right, so I'm assuming this is a different move, but same showcase, right?
Yeah.
I gotcha. All right, so and then there's you again. All right. Yeah, the PSD Nationals, and I like the colors, bright colors, yellow, blue, teal with yellow, it's very unique. It's very unique, it pops. Let's just say that. And what shoes were you wearing there on your feet?
I was wearing the Kobe's. It's the Kobe's cousins. I forget. I have so many pairs of Kobe's. I forget which ones they were.
That's the, I believe, Kobe X-rays?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
I said I was just trying to find out the number.
Oh, hey, but yeah, the Kobe X-rays. I gotcha. All right, so that's the photo portion of your show and tell. All right, so you had that one game over at the TNBA South tournament over at Game Point, and then the three others were the PSD showcase. So, how well did you do in that PSD showcase?
Well, I did good. Had a lot of assists. One game I had 15 points. In the All-Star game, I had like 15 too. And I was actually I was actually playing with Josiah Taylor and Jordan Stevens in the All-Star game.
Yeah, man, shout out to them. Oh, speaking about Jordan Stevens, we actually have a clip of his here, that we have here, and I really would like to show it to you, of Jordan Stevens. Here.
Oh, good D, baby! Oh, let's go!
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. I was actually training with him today at Beyond Basketball.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that was a 360 layup. So so when that clip came out, when he was on the show, when we saw that clip, I was like, man, that rivals with this next clip I'm gonna show you, from one of our previous guests. Here's the other clip. All right, so Aziah, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. So, which one was, I guess, better, basically?
Well, I don't know I think Jordan's was better because not every game do you see a 360 layup. I mean, because there's a lot of kids that did the between the legs layup.
All right.
They're both good, but I think Jordan's was better.
So Jordan's. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so my co-host here actually has a question for you here. So if you want to read it, you can read it.
Probably the PSD National Combine. Yeah, the PSD. But the PSD tournament, there was also some good kids there too. Yeah, definitely. So it's between PSD Combine or the tournament, because at the tournament I played top ranked kids, and at the PSD I played top ranked kids. But I think I'm gonna have to go tournament because I played at Next Pro Finals. Yeah, I played against the number 2 team in 2032, and I actually had 10 points against them. And it was a random team from Tennessee called True Hoop. Shout out to them.
Okay. Yeah, Tony, that was your answer. All right. Okay. All right, Zai. So, all right. So you play the number 2 team on next hoops, I believe, or
The next pro circuit.
the circuit. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So how was it like playing against them, the number 2 team?
I took the lead with 13 seconds left with a nice little floater. My dad has it on video. But yeah, I took the lead, but they actually ended up forcing it. In that game, I actually played 2 top-ranked kids as well.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good matchup. We ended up going to overtime, and so everybody was questioning it. There was a foul called before we went to overtime for free throws.
Yeah.
And it was tied, but the foul, I guess they said it was called before we went into overtime.
Yeah.
But they made us shoot the free throws in overtime instead of before.
So basically, if you made one, the game would have been over.
Yes. And the thing is, he made it, but they still made us go into overtime.
And that's weird. Like, why don't you do the free throws before, like how it should be?
The ref said that the time it was a tech free throw because the team hit a 3 and everybody ran on the court, so it was a tech. So the tech was called before we went into overtime, but they made us shoot the free throw in overtime.
All right, so when that 3 was made, were you guys like tied or?
We tied, yes.
Oh, tied. So then everybody went on the court, which is obviously a tech, obviously. So then the free throws were shot after overtime, and then that whole weird thing happened.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Zaya. So let's get into the the most interesting part of the show and tell, which is your videos. Those refs need to be drug tested. I think so, because why don't you do the free throws before overtime? And I guess that's something that we'll never know. So, all right, Zai, you ready for your video?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the first one. Okay. All right. So nice dribble, pull up into a 3. All right. So where was that? And yeah. So where was that?
Well, that was for the AAU Memorial Day weekend tournament. It was at ESPN and Disney and Convention Center. But the 3 was at Convention Center, and so we were up by like 8, 9, 10 points, and the team we were facing they were good, so we had to like try to clinch the lead so they can't come back at all, and it was a close game. So no, all right, so we was up 7, and just to clinch the lead, shot the 3, and that was it from there. Game.
I got you. All right, so Coach Tony here, my co-host, says that teammates with a previous guest.
Well, yeah, I know who he's talking about. I don't. For right, Gigi. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, in the background. All right, a G3.
Yeah.
Him. Yeah. My co-host actually interviewed him. I wasn't there because I had and I think I had a tournament or something like that. The reason why I wasn't there. So he actually interviewed him, and yeah, guys, for the audience, if you guys want to check that out, that's previous episode with G3. So you guys can
shout out G3. I don't play with Forever Hoops no more, but shout out G3. He's a good player.
Gotcha. All right. So let's get into another video, to the next one. So hit him with that pass fake, and then and then shot it. So, all right. So, and I think that was at the Big House. I'm assuming at the Big House. Yeah. All right. So, what tournament was that?
PSD tournament.
Ah, interesting. All right, so do you know?
Sorry. But they matched us up against our Forever Hoops B team. Yeah, they matched us up against them, and they were beating us, but we like changed the game and we like built up a lead. Yeah, built up a lead. Yeah.
So, all right. So, what was it for, like pool play or bracket play?
It was bracket play. Yeah.
Bracket. Gotcha. Man, why are these tournaments, put, the A team against the B team, like sometimes, like why, like just put them in different brackets, like I don't know, it's like a rivalry or something like that. They're trying to spark a rivalry. Episode 57. So, and I guess you can check that episode, episode 57. That's where Aziah's teammate over there in episode 57. All right. So let's get into the next. Let's get into the next video. All right. So I read there is and the thing said back to back. So I'm assuming that was the second shot in the back to back.
Yeah. It was a close game, and we were down. I shot a 3, cut the lead down probably to like 8, shot another 3, and it was it from there. We lost that game, and actually the team that we lost, I actually played for them with a tournament at the T3 TV at the Big House. I actually played the call. Shout out to them too, Daily Grind Athletics.
Daily Grind. So we actually had a few teammates that went there that came on this show. Prince, yes, Prince. Prince and Mason, the Maverick.
Yeah, Mason. Yeah.
Mason. Yeah. We had some Daily Grind on there too. Daily Grind and every elite athlete there. So all right. So that was the PSD tournament.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. So let's get into the last video here on the show and tell. Another big time 3. All right, so that was the first one in the back to back. All right, so
yes.
All right. So what was the situation there?
Well, that was when we was down. Our team tried our best to cut the lead down. So, big time back to back 3s. But then I feel like we was down, and I feel like everybody just I feel like people just felt down on themselves. So we kept pushing, but we ended up losing that game to Daily Grind.
Oh man. All right, so you said that you played for Daily Grind for a tournament?
Yes.
Yeah. No, and it hurts, when you played for them, and it's kind of like a rivalry, you know what I mean? So, because you obviously want to beat them, obviously, So, I actually had that experience before, at Hoop Scene actually in Atlanta. I actually played my ex team. Over there in Atlanta. We lost so close by like one possession, and it hurt me. You know what I mean? It hurt me.
You know what? The same coincidence happened to me at the T3 TV.
Yeah.
For Hoops was at the tournament, so we ended up playing them, and we ended up beating them because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure you obviously want to beat them. Obviously, it's kind of like a rivalry almost. Like, yeah. And obviously, when I lost them, it kind of hurt me mentally. Like damn, like I wish we beat them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. My co-host here actually said he actually had Mason and Prince in my gym for a session. Yeah, so Mason and Prince, they're down here in South Florida. So I guess my co-host actually invited them for a gym session in the basketball gym, and they had them there working out with his team, my co-host team. He actually has a team that he trains. So Mason and Prince were there at that. All right. All right, Isaiah. So that's the show and tell. So, all right. So now let's open up the phone lines. Now you guys can click the link that's in the chat. There should be a link pinned in the chat. At the very top of the chat, you guys can click it and join the show and talk to Aziah here. You guys can talk to Aziah. All right. All right. So Aziah. So in the meantime, while people are clicking the link, so my co-host usually asks this question to our athletes. All right, first question. What are your like top 3 basketball shoes that you have to put in your bag, like for a tournament?
All right. So my top 3. All right. So we're gonna start off with one. So a tournament where next pro I didn't have Puma shoes. Well, I did, but they just wasn't the ones that I was supposed to wear. So I thought we went to a store that thought they would have them, but no stores had them at all because they were Puma Next Pro made. I didn't know that. So we went to a store and we ended up just buying a pair of Puma shoes. And ever since we've got those pair of Puma shoes, no matter what, it could be a training, it could be a game, I always played good in those shoes no matter what. And now, see this. If I didn't play in those shoes, for some reason, I would probably not have a bad game, but I wouldn't do what anybody expected for some reason without those shoes.
So basically it was like the like Mike effect, like
Yes.
Yeah, like when a little Bow Wow when he wore those Jordans, he would go crazy. But then when he had to wear the team shoes of that professional team, he just like acted like a kid, like a normal street kid.
Like what would happen?
Ah, gotcha. All right, so okay, all right. So what are your top 3 shoes? Like top 3 basketball shoes?
Well, number 1 is the one I just told you, School Henderson's. My number 2 has to be my Kobe X-rays. No, not the X-rays. That's my number 3. My number 2 is my colorful ones, the low tops.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that just came out.
All right. All right, so that's number 2, and then what's number 1?
The School Henderson's, the shoes, the Puma shoes.
All right, I gotcha. All right, I guess I just can't tell the difference between orange and red. Well, and Isaiah took ours, so he should know what orange and red mix. So orange and red. All right. Orange and red makes what, like red orange or something like that? No, wait. No, it's red orange. Yeah.
It makes like a red orange.
Yeah, because there's no like obviously red and yellow make orange, obviously on the color wheel, obviously. So yeah, I actually take art right now, actually, and I took art this year and I took art last year. So yeah, basically art's like my calm class. It's like my calm class. Just to get my mind right, basically. So yeah, and I also take art too, Isaiah. So obviously I know about the color wheel and stuff like that. All right, so my co-host has a question. You can read it.
Ooh, it's better. Short hair, Aziah.
Long hair, Aziah.
No. My dad thinks I was better with my long hair because I believe it too. Hair is where all your strength comes from. But sometimes in games, all the hair would come in my face, and not even just in games in general. But I think now short hair is better than long hair is.
So short hair. I gotcha. Yeah, man, because the long hair, and it like covers your eyes and stuff, like, and it bothers you stuff, and yeah, stuff like that. All right, I gotcha. All right, so all right, guys, click the link. Come on, you guys gotta click the link. It's on the top of the chat. Family, friends, anybody want to click the link? It's open. It's up there in the top of the. Okay, hold on. Sounds like we got someone in the studio here. So.
It's me.
I'm gonna turn on my light for a second.
All right, gotcha. All right, y'all, click the link.
Click the link, so I'm not even doing it.
And I also put the link again on the chat, so it should be at the bottom. So it should be at the top and the bottom too.
It's orange. Can you open it? Can you open this orange? Dad, can you open it?
Gotta invite Aziah for session 2. Yeah, for sure. You know, he's in Florida too. So yeah, my co-host Aziah want to invite you out for a session too.
Definitely, it will happen. It will.
Yeah, just make it happen behind the scenes. You know. Yeah, just hit him. Yeah, just hit my co-host, and then he'll obviously work that out. All right, Manny, try and turn your camera on. You gotta turn your camera on if you want to join the studio.
Yeah.
I would, but I'm buffering too much. See, yeah, my co-host said he would, but he's buffering too much. Yeah, his internet went out over where he's at, so he had a lot of buffering, obviously. So it would kind of mess up our show a little bit if he came on. No offense to Tony, but you know. All right, so in the meantime, while our guests are viewer, I guess Manny, well, he's trying to get that worked out. All right, so Aziah, so my co-host also asked this question to our athletes. So every athlete wears a number, obviously, a number. So what's the story behind your number that you wear?
Well, all right. So I have 2 numbers. So I moved to Florida 3 years ago, and my dad talked to a guy. His name is Curtis Setz. Shout out to Curtis. He had a recreation league, and after rec season, you would go to AAU. And for AAU, I was wearing 22. So for every team, I wanted to wear 22, which is why I wear 22 in Forever Hoops as well. But I'm gonna wear number 1 for my dad's team. I'm gonna wear number 1 because God first. So number 1.
Okay, so gotcha. So you're number 1 and number 22.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right. Oh, hold on. All right, so it sounds like we got someone in the chat that's from your family, most likely.
Yes. Love you too.
Yeah, shout out to Sonia. So just shout out. Another Swaggy J, lol. Yeah, Swaggy J. He was actually he was, I think, our first guest. He was our first guest that we interviewed back in episode. Tony, correct me on this. Probably episode 2. I think it was episode 2, and 60 episodes. 60 episodes ago, Swaggy J. So yeah, so if you guys want to check that out, it should be at episode 2. I want to say episode 2, but yeah, you guys can check that out. His name's Jace Valdez from San Antonio. Yeah, I think he's class of 2032 as well. So you guys can check that out on our YouTube page.
Let me turn on the camera.
My dad is the one, Manny Montero. He's trying to join. He said it won't let him turn on the camera.
No, it wouldn't? So, yeah, yeah.
He's just going to come sit next to me.
All right, for sure. I guess that counts. Yeah, that counts. So we got a special guest, guys. We got Aziah and we got Pops.
Yes. Also, I have a question. Well, some
Lower Marion. Hey, Kobe Bryant. Hey, there you go. Hey, for sure. Hey, Pops, what's up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. All right, so he's been a very good guest so far. He's been a great guest. You know, he has. You know, he's been a very great guest so far. And are you doing it?
Try to raise him to be the best he could be, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he said his long-term goals is to be in an NBA uniform, obviously, one of these days. So when it happens, all right. My co-host here actually, he has two numbers.
I tell him all the time, as you don't tell people that you're gonna try to make it to the league. You're going to make it.
You're going to, yeah.
You're going to make it. Once you believe in yourself, you set a goal, you gotta go for it, man.
I like that. I got to keep that mentality. You set a goal, chase that goal. Now,
Like you play basketball, so me and him, we have this argument all the time. So Aziah's a great player, and I know what he's capable of. So we go to the park, and I'm looking at him. Mind you, I'm bringing him. I'm at the park. I'm watching him play, and then he's slacking. So I'm trying to tell him, I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Dad, I'm just playing around." So I tell him all the time, it's not about playing around. You got to be serious all the time. So you can't let anybody beat you. You got to show them why you are who you are, But you play basketball, so you should let them know that they should listen to their parents because we're always right.
Yeah, for sure. Because for sure you obviously got to work hard to chase that goal to the NBA because a bunch of people want to go to the NBA. Like what thousands of athletes around the country, probably the world too. So like obviously you got to stand out from those thousands of why you should get drafted. Why you should get drafted into the NBA. So yeah, so Pops is right. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. You got to chase that dream. All right, Aziah?
Yes, sir.
All right, so he has two numbers as well, Aziah, 23 and 10. I don't know if he's talking to you, Aziah, or I don't know.
Well, he actually is right because I have a 2032 team and I wear number 23.
Okay, so it's number 1, number 22, and number 23?
Yeah.
And 10?
So what's your favorite number out of all those numbers?
Yes, exactly.
It has to be number 1. God first.
Amen, amen. Yeah, man. So, yeah, Pops, he answered this question about what does he do to mentally prepare, and I really love this answer. Like he listens to like Jesus and stuff. He listens to Allen Iverson and Kobe speeches before the game. Very unique. And I like that. And I love that. You're listening to something very unique, like Kobe, AI, Jesus, Amen, obviously. So,
of course.
Yeah, man.
I send him like videos all the time, like videos of like Kobe doing drills, Allen Iverson playing, like motivational speakers talking about the game of basketball. I do like God stuff, and sometimes one day I asked him if he listens to all of them. He goes, "Yeah, Dad, I don't listen to all of them, but I listen to some of them because I send like maybe 3-4 a day. So you know how that goes." So.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so he put some context here. He said those are Jace numbers, 23 and 10. He said those are Jace Valdez numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. My co-host said that that Aziah is like another Swaggy J. He was actually a previous guest of ours back in episode 2. He was actually our first athlete that we interviewed back in episode 2. So 60 episodes ago. So.
Wow, you guys are doing it.
Oh yeah, man. First time.
Stop. Keep going.
For sure. We got 1,000 followers on Instagram, about 200 on YouTube. Yeah, man. So we're obviously we're obviously chasing our dream. Obviously, So.
Hopefully soon you'll have 100,000 subscribers. So.
Amen. For sure. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So.
100%, one day at a time.
For sure. My co-host here.
He said, "Listen, boss, man."
You ready?
He does. He's a good kid. Sometimes, but overall, he's a good kid, man. Proud to be his dad, man. There's nothing in this world that I like more than waking up to go watch his games, man. I tell him one day, when I'm old, he's gonna tell me like, "Dad, I appreciate everything you did for me, man. Like, I don't miss his games. Me and the mom Dukes, we work hard. We got 3 kids, and I try to make it to all his games, man. That's the plan."
I like that.
He's better than me, and they could be an example for his little brother. Because his little brother, man, he better watch out. He's 5 years old. He's coming after him.
Okay. So probably later on, when he gets older enough, so we might have him on. Obviously, I'm gonna be in college by then. Yeah, because right now I'm in 12th grade right now, so probably when he gets older and stuff, I'm gonna be in college, probably interviewing him, probably when he gets of age, So
And by then, you guys will be on ESPN. So
hopefully, that's obviously the goal. My goals right now. I'm currently in 12th grade right now. I'm currently a senior in high school. So right now, I'm currently playing basketball right now. High school basketball here in South Florida. I'm currently, for basketball trying to get a college scholarship. So obviously I'm trying to chase that. And I also do have a plan B just in case if things don't work for basketball. And I obviously have sports broadcasting that I would like to do as a plan B. So
never have a plan B. Always have a plan A, because sometimes plan B throws you off. That's it. Have a plan A. Make sure you go hard and get the plan A.
I got you. Yeah. Obviously trying to work. Playing on the hoop scene circuit with my travel team. Trying to get the best chance, trying to get recruited. Obviously, we play in the hoop scene circuit this year. Played on Pangos, a fantastic 40 down here in Miami, and yeah, man, we played some big tournaments.
Quick question: what high school you played?
Cypress Bay High School.
Is that around here?
That's in South Florida.
Oh, South Florida. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's down in South Florida.
You guys don't play Jordan Christian Prep, right?
No. Probably the only time we play other schools in Florida is when we probably when we leave South Florida, probably for like other tournaments, because in high school we also play tournaments as well. So yeah, man, Carlos gonna be on ESPN, the $200 million man. Yeah, making more than Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, he always says that I'm gonna be the $200 million man, trying to make more
man.
Stephen A.
Keep going, man. Don't stop.
For sure. All right, Pop. So you got any advice? Any how do you say, encouragement for Aziah?
All I gotta tell him is, man, I know what this kid could do on the court. I tell him all the time, all you gotta do, as long as you believe in yourself, nobody else has to believe in you. If you believe in yourself, you go far in life. Everything you do, never cheat. Give it 100%. And what else I tell him all the time? I tell him that if you set a goal, you better put in 100% and chase it. Like I tell him, don't. That the reason why I said earlier, don't have a plan B is because sometimes a plan B will throw you off and you'll forget about the plan A. So always have a plan A. Keep going. If the plan A don't work, then have another plan A.
I gotcha. All right. Thank you, Pops, for joining here. For giving encouragement, advice to your son Aziah.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. So, any family members, any friends want to join the show? You guys can click the link. I'm gonna give you guys about probably a minute or two. You guys can click the link. It's in the chat, so you guys can check that out. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Also, I have a quick question. Will you be able to share these with me, like, for the post?
Of the clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, my co-host actually does that. Yeah, he does clips, and yeah, he's gonna tag you on Instagram, and yeah, and those clips will be on the Be Ready Sports Podcast Instagram page, and he sometimes collaborates. He collaborates with, so he's gonna collaborate with you on the post so that it could be also on your page as well.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Just click on the link, and it'll tell you to go on. The same thing you did earlier.
Give Carl some advice. He's tired of hearing from me. He did. Yeah, Tony. He did. Yeah, I heard him.
I think a family member of mine is about to join.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll wait. And then depending on time, it might be the last, but once again, depending on time. And obviously, Aziah, we actually have an unwritten rule, which is we don't allow our guests, our younger guests, to go past 2 hours. That's actually our unwritten rule. So we're about 10 minutes away from that. So no rush, obviously, but like obviously, if we have to go past 2 hours, then obviously we'll do it. But we don't try and normally do that because we don't like to keep you guys on for too long. Your attention spans are not they're not usually for that long. So obviously we try and keep this under 2 hours. All right. All right, y'all. You guys can click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Shout out to Tony, Coach Tony. You've been great support, even though you can't join the show. Being in the chat, is the most that you can do. So shout out, shout out, shout out, and shout out to all the viewers watching. Yeah, man, a very great guest in Aziah Monteiro. He's gonna be the great. You know what I mean? He's gonna make the NBA. The 2030s. So
Thank you.
for sure, for sure. All right, so while we wait, what are your all right, so you want to get to the NBA, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what are your favorite college basketball teams that you want to play for?
Well, one of the top teams I want to play for, from what I've seen, great players like Cooper Flag, Duke is one of the top ones. I actually modeled my game a little bit after Rob Dillingham, so again, Kentucky. And one more would probably be North Carolina.
Okay, so Duke, North Carolina, and
Kentucky.
All right, so the Blue Bloods, basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so shout out to Carl. Good evening from New Bedford, Massachusetts. All right. Do you know him, Aziah?
Yeah, that's actually my grandfather.
Oh, grandfather. Hey, shout out to grandfather. Shout out from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Shout out. Our co-host here, our first guest after a 2-week hiatus, and he came through huge. Thank you, Aziah. Shout out from my co-host.
Thank you, Coach.
For sure. Yeah, man, 2-week hiatus. We had our personal, things we had to deal with outside the podcast, but finally found the day we can do it, and here we are. All right, guys, click the link. Click the link. Aziah, where's your family member at?
Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna see if he's still.
All right. Shout out Carl. Appreciate y'all interviewing Aziah. For sure. He's been a great guest. He says, his aspirations is to play in the league, play in the NBA. And then I just asked him right now, what is his favorite schools that he wants to play at? He said North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, obviously the Blue Bloods right now. And obviously, playing at those schools will give you the best chance. Will give you the best chance. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to do it.
Oh no? Okay. Okay, well, does he see the link in the chat or no?
My dad's trying to figure it out right now with him.
Yeah, because we obviously want to get as much family members on here because can you send me the link? Ooh, my codes. Click on the blue link. Yeah, my co-host is usually the one that's sending all these links, not me. I'm just here, just to interview, get these sports topics. He's usually the one that's more technical with the links and all that stuff. He so I don't know how to do that. Probably. Oh, hold on. All right, this might be our last guess, but if there's any more family members, you guys can still click on the link. Put the link back in the chat. Gotcha. If I can find the link. Oh, All right, Pops, turn on your camera and talk to Aziah. All right, that should be the link, so you guys can back in the chat, so you guys can click that link and join the show.
Oh, and also, I'm gonna show you something real quick.
Okay, yeah.
So you know how I said my favorite player was Kyrie Irving?
Yeah.
This was actually a gift from my grandfather. So it has my initials, AJM for Aziah John Monteiro, and it was Kyrie Irving.
Ooh, wow, that's amazing. What? And is that like drawn or?
Well, my grandfather got it for me, but I think he said one of his friends did it. I don't know how they did it. It looks beautiful. And then I also said I played soccer, so on the other one,
Yeah.
my country,
yeah,
Ronaldo's grandmother is Cape Verdean, so I have Ronaldo for soccer.
Ah, so soccer Ronaldo. Okay. Yeah, Kaysen, his dad actually came here early on the show. His son Kaysen plays soccer. He was actually, I believe, our first soccer guest on the show. So yeah, you can check that out in episode 3, episode 4. I think it's one of the earlier episodes, like the very early episodes. You guys can check that out on the YouTube page. All right, Pops from Massachusetts, come on.
If he can't join, I think I'm just call him after. He'll give me some advice of how I did it and stuff.
Episode 4. Now, but the point about these calls is that, they call in, it kind of makes it special. But I'm going to just say that. Get it? Things like special. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so I don't know if we're going to get connected, guys. We're trying to connect with a family member right now. So once we try and get him connected, we'll try and get him on. And, he might be the last one because we are running out. We are getting close to our limit here. So
I think he got it. Hold on. I think he's better join.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry. We'll wait. It's always special when these family members get on, It's always special, because they give like beautiful advice, beautiful encouragement, and things like that.
And also, the question that you had of what other sports I would do, well, actually, from my mom's side of the family, it was baseball.
Baseball.
My grandfather, John, he was a great baseball player. My grandfather is actually trying to join. He had 2 no-hitters and 3, I think it was 3 no-hitters in high school. Yeah, so it would be baseball and soccer. And I said soccer because that's what I did. I never got the chance to, play baseball. I never got into a league or anything. We're actually still trying to do that. We're trying to do that right now. But yeah, it would be baseball and soccer if it was other than basketball.
Okay, for sure. So you said you haven't played baseball yet?
Nope, and I really want to.
Oh, you really want to? I got you. All right, my co-host has a question here for you.
It's called Cabo Verde, Cape Verde.
Cape Verde?
West coast of Africa, Cape Verde.
All right, gotcha. West Africa, gotcha. All right.
Well, I don't think he could join. So if you want to just end the show, I don't know. It's up to you.
No. We'll wait. Like it, and if he can get on, then obviously, like, try and get on. But but obviously, we try and get family members. Okay, he's trying to join. So, all right. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait. Don't worry. We'll wait. But the camera's not working. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, Aziah left. Oh. Apologies for technical difficulties on their side. They're having technical difficulties right now on their side. Okay, hold on. There you go. All right. All right, you good, Aziah? You good? All right, guys. We're currently right now waiting on a family member that will come on. He's trying to come on right now, so we're trying to wait for him, and then once he gets on,
My dad, he's just gonna talk on the phone real quick if that's fine with you.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Are you talking to me? Because if you are, I'm Aziah's grandfather. My name's Carl out in Massachusetts. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Blessed being here. All right, so what encouragement, advice you got for Aziah?
Well, quite honestly, it's pretty simple. It's simplicity at its best. He's a sponge. He has taken the basketball as his chosen number one sport, but I will tell you this much. He is quite blessed with athleticism. I had him running serious routes as a wide receiver, and the rule for catching a football was, because I coached for years, was if you touch it, you catch it. And the bottom line was, he got so frustrated when I started throwing the bullets, and then he learned how to catch above his waist with his hands up, below his waist with his hands down. Now that's just football. Baseball is my sport, and I tried to get him into it, and he excelled at second base. I hit him some grounders so hard, so right in front of him, taught him how to put the one knee down and understand that this is what it's all about. But he's a natural athlete. My only, I won't even say concern, what I will say most importantly to my eldest grandson is to make sure, and I know he knows this is coming as well as his father does. Make sure that the grades in school are just as equally with that energy as you have on the court. But I'm extremely proud of him. He's a good-hearted young brother, and I'm more than proud that he's my grandson.
For sure. I like that. Yeah, obviously grades. Yeah, obviously the academics got to be, on point, obviously, because because obviously they got to be on point, because when Aziah wants to get to that next level, obviously the grades are going to count the most, obviously in college, yeah, and the grades are going to really, impact him a lot, obviously. And if he has good grades, and a good player, he can play at the North Carolina's, Dukes, Kentucky's.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The sky is, he is the true epitome of the sky is the limit. Because he's like that human sponge. He takes it in and it registers. And it's not like it's just going in one ear and out the other. It registers, and that's what I've coached for over 45 years, every single sport. And I just didn't have the opportunity because of their relocation to coach him up here in Massachusetts. And I mean, that includes basketball, football, baseball, even some hockey. I mean, the beat goes on. He's just a natural, good-hearted athlete with a great soul. He's kind-hearted. He's a great big brother to his younger two siblings. And I think if he just understands the equal energy put forth in the classroom as you excel on the court or on the iron or on the field, whether it's baseball or soccer, the magic happens right in front of you. Pending good health, of course, you have to stretch, you have to take care of your body, eat right, the whole 9 yards. But the magic happens once you feel good about everything about you as an athlete. 50% classroom, 50% athlete. Because at the end of the day, it is the name on the front of the uniform instead of the one on the back.
I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Very, kind-hearted words. And he's got a great support system around him. He's got a very great support system around him.
This is great. I appreciate you guys having him aboard. I will be a fan from here on in. Many blessings to all of you down there, wherever you are. Aziah, Manny, I'll talk to you all later. Love you guys. Thanks much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Talk to you in a little while.
Man, Aziah, you got a great support system. Your grandfather, your dad, you got a great support system, man. And, you're going to make it there, and I know it. You got a great support system, your dad, grandfather, usually when you have a great support system, that obviously leads to great success. And I really do wish you make the league, and I really do, and I really love what your dad said, that there should be a plan A, chase that plan A of going to the league. And I really like how you said when, not if. And I really like how your mentality is, and I really like it. So keep chasing that dream, all right?
I also have one more shout out before the live is over.
For sure.
Mom does a lot of great things for me. My dad actually went to prison for 6 years, and my mom was taking care of me. She was like by herself, so shout out to my mom. Really love my mom. And yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, my co-host actually says, yes, sir. He approves. He approves. Yeah, man, very nice. Very nice words. And we're gonna end it here. So thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon on YouTube. Follow on Instagram. You guys can follow us on Instagram at Be Ready Sports Podcast. Down here, you guys should be scrolling on the ticker right now. You guys can check that out. If you guys want to donate to the show, it should be right here. Donate on Zelle 954-664-8962. You can donate on Zelle with that phone number. All right, Aziah, so you ready? Do you know our motto?
Yes.
You ready? All right. Co-host ain't here, so we're gonna go with the other plan. All right. In 3, 2, 1. To be ready.
Stay ready.
And we out, y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.